Well, you introduce everything.
So again,
And I says you introduce everything then, like go through it quickly and say what say we had done this last week. Now we're
yeah,
going to
yeah,
do.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, here we go. Hello and welcome to Rusted Junk. And again, as we said last time, there's still no film because we are doing what is it called, Joe? I keep wanting to call it What If, but you got a better name or snappier title for it.
Who almost was.
Almost was, yeah, almost famous. Say anything. There's two words. What if almost was? I like that, Joe. So for regular listeners that are going, why is there no movie title on this? If you listen to previous podcasts, it'll all be clear. You'd have listened to us say we're only gonna take 25 minutes to discuss the Breakfast Club, when in this we just short of an hour. And this one with this film that we're covering, with people that either got asked to play, auditioned, or however they ended up in the frame, may take longer because it's a pet subject of mine, and it's definitely a iconic character that we both adore and love. Um, so, without further ado, um, we are looking at the various people that found themselves up for the role in the 1989 film Batman. And Joe's got the list, and I haven't. So this is
And
going to
it's
be
a
great.
mighty big list.
Well, Joe, I'm going to keep you to 45 minutes because, well, 50. Well, let's see how it goes. All right.
All right. Well, I'll try to be quick. So I'm want to start
Let's
this
no,
out
no,
by
no. Don't be
saying,
quick. We'll just see. You might have to leave a few off at the end. Whatever list you're looking at, you might have to leave a few off. You might have to be a bit choosy towards the end, I would say.
okay.
All right.
So what I wanted to say though, before Batman '89 came out, our only Batman really was Adam West Batman
It's
from
true.
1966,
Yeah.
and it was okay for kids, but it just didn't do anything for us or adults or Batman fans. What changed all that was Frank Miller's Dark Knight Return, which is a comic book series that made the character much older. He came back from retirement and he was very darker. He was
Yeah.
very violent, and I can't stress enough how this book or four books changed comic books forever. It not only affected Batman and DC, but it affected Marvel, other comic book companies. And we didn't have internet back then. This was all word of mouth. It's
Right.
like you would hear it from a friend or a coworker or something like that, and says, "Have you read this stuff?" And my first thing is like, it's a comic book. It's like it's more than a comic book. You really need to get this. I'll lend you mine.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine did lend me his, and I went out and bought my own. I was like, this was really good. And again, it changed the way we look at comic books forever, and it
Mm.
changed the way we look at Batman forever because now he was really the Dark Knight, and he was no more doing the Batusi, had bat shark repellent or anything like that.
King
He
Tut.
was Batman was scary, Joker was scary, and this that book inspired Batman '89 big time,
Yeah.
and that's what people wanted to see. They
Which
loved the
is which
book.
is a dark film.
Yeah, they wanted, yes, and it's very dark. And I picked up Batman '89 in 4K last week, and I watched it. And it's not perfect, but there's a lot of good stuff in there, and there's a lot of good casting. There's a lot of bad casting in
Yeah.
there, and I guess we're kind of gonna go through that. So I guess we'll start since I got 45 minutes. We got a lot to go
Ish. Yeah.
through.
Yeah. Go on. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the first one who was considered actually, and I think this was even before this was a Tim Burton was signed on, but it was Bill Murray.
Bill Murray's Batman.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I couldn't see that either.
No. It's
But it,
well.
it
Are we dismissing him because he's a good? He's very funny. He's a good comedian. I like Michael Keaton before this. I like Michael Keaton in Mr. Mom. He was in a film called Gung Ho, which I liked, which you couldn't watch now. I mean, you'd have to put multiple warnings on the front of it before it would even considered for Netflix.
yeah,
I think it
that's
probably
true.
it probably wouldn't exist. But yeah, I genuinely like the guy. So when I heard he was going to be cast, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's good.
Well, when I heard Michael Keaton was going to be cast, I wasn't happy because to me he was a comedian. He was in Night Shift, which I really loved him in.
Yeah.
I felt like that made him a star. That movie. Over here, it did anyway.
Okay.
And like you said, Mr. Mom. He's really good at comedy.
Yeah.
It was Johnny Dangerously. I think that might have been
Yeah.
before.
Not not big over here, really.
Yeah, but anyway, so he had great comic timing, and I
Yes.
didn't like the fact that they were casting him, who was like skinny. He wasn't really tall, as Batman.
Right.
That's not how I saw Bruce Wayne. That's not how I saw Batman. It
Okay.
wasn't until like back then again, we had no internet, but we had these magazines, and one of the magazines was called Starlog, and they had a picture of Michael Keaton dressed as Batman on the set. I was blown away. I was
Right.
like, all right, I'm on board now,
Right.
because he was dressed in black. He just had like the yellow utility belt. He had the black and yellow bat symbol, the long ears. He looked terrifying.
Right.
And I was like, that's what I want to see. That's the Batman I want to see. I'm on board now, so I was happy about that.
Right.
But getting back to Bill Murray, so I think before again, Tim Burton was on board, Warner Brothers wanted Bill Murray to be Batman, and they wanted Eddie Murphy to be Robin. So it possibly could have been more like the Adam West Batman, but maybe a little more mature. But
Can we just say that the addition of Robin in the Batman films was one of the worst decisions they could have made? Never worked out.
well,
Chris O'Donnell was awful.
I feel it's like that in the comics too. I don't like when Robin is part of Batman's duo. I like Batman much more when he's on his own.
I like
It
Nightwing.
Well, yeah, he grew up to be Nightwing, Dick Grayson, but still, I just don't like seeing Robin. I mean, the costume is too colorful compared to Batman. It's just not a character that I'm fond of. I mean, they made him better in the comics. They got rid of his little, you know, thong short sort of thing that he had on,
Yeah.
and his little pixie boots and all that. But yeah, I just don't like the character. But anyway, what happened was apparently Bill Murray and Eddie Murphy were fighting over who was going to play Batman because they both assumed that they were going to be Batman, and neither one of them wanted to budge, so they never made that movie,
Wow. Okay.
which I think is probably a blessing in disguise.
Probably on both counts, I would have said.
All right, so next
Yeah.
one,
Go
we've
on.
mentioned him previously in our last podcast.
Oh no. Okay.
Do you want to take a guess? Or?
No. Because it's not the thing I had in mind.
Okay,
Kevin
Charlie
Costner. Oh,
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen is Batman.
He would have been kind of young.
No.
He
Well,
has the look of Bruce Wayne, I would say. I think he could have done it. I don't know how old he was at that point.
oh god, it was early, early to mid 20s. You look at him in 1987, he would have been in Wall Street playing Bud Fox.
I could see him. I actually could see. I could see Bud Fox, being like millionaire Bruce Wayne. Back then, he was millionaire, not billionaire.
Well, he certainly would be one for the ladies. Let's put it
Yeah,
that way.
definitely one for the ladies.
Yeah.
He at times he's a decent actor. He didn't have all the
Well,
drugs.
this is a different Joe to the one that was on previous podcast, which
Well,
is
I'm not
like
talking
you
about it.
couldn't. Yeah, but you couldn't wait to besmirch the good name of the good. I was about to say good name of Charlie Sheen, but yeah,
No, we're talking about Estevez.
right, okay. You don't
I've
mind Charlie
always said
Sheen,
no. I always said Emilio Estevez is Charlie Sheen light, and
yeah.
that's all he
Charlie
is.
Sheen's definitely it's better.
But I would be on board with Charlie Sheen as Batman. I don't know what his height is like. He might have been a little too young, but I still would have been on board with him. I think he has the look.
Yeah, he's gone from the unnamed drug addict in the police station in Ferris Bueller. In 3 short years, he's ended up being the most iconic movie, one of the most iconic movie characters or comic book characters in history. No, there better be some better names on this list, and I'm going to have to say there better
Okay.
be Kevin Costner on this list.
There's going to be some bad names on this list
All
too.
right, okay.
All right. So next one, Tom Selleck.
Well, they wouldn't be able to digitally remove his mustache, would they? Like they did
No,
with
he'd have to
Henry
shave it
Cavill.
off.
But
I've seen him with his mustache shaved off. Doesn't look good.
the trouble, the thing about it is, why did Michael Keaton work so well then? Because if we bring up Michael Keaton's name here, I'd be going, "What? You mean the guy that was like?" I mean, obviously you wouldn't know he'd would he have been in this if he wasn't in Batman? Let's just pretend he was. Oh, the guy that was in like the Dream Team and Pacific Heights, those, straight to. Oh no, they were actually movie releases. Oh, the guy that played uh, the Vulture in Spider Man. Yeah, I suppose so. We're gonna be doing a lot of names, and we're going to be going through a lot of names, and part of them is going to have to be. I can't I can't see them in the role because they've been in something else. Tom Selleck's Magnum. That's pretty much it. Lives on an island,
Yeah.
drives a Ferrari.
I
What other things are you going to say Tom Selleck was famous for? The film Runaway with Gene Simmons,
Quickly
uh,
Down Under.
Friends,
Yeah.
Quickly
No,
Down Under. Really, that's his legacy, is it? Quickly Down Under.
well, you're just saying what other things other
No,
than
but
Magnum.
these are the things that come to mind. Magnum and Friends. There you go.
I don't think he could play dark. I think
No,
that's his problem.
but
So
then you wouldn't
yeah.
have thought Michael Keaton would, and he did.
Well, but this is the whole thing. Burton went with him because he really liked him in Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
They had a really good bond. They understood each other, and he really wanted him. And again, us Batman fans, we did not want a comedian to play Batman at all.
so
We
that's a good
wanted,
shout. Despite Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice is a good audition.
but you know how he is too with Tim Burton. When he gets hooked on somebody, an actor, they're in every damn movie. Like he did that with Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah,
He tried to do it with Jack Nicholson, but Jack Nicholson said, "I'm good," because he told Jack Nicholson, he says, "I want you to be my Jimmy Stewart, to like how Jimmy Stewart was to Frank Capra,"
yeah,
and he didn't want that, Jack Nicholson, because he was in Mars Attacks and with Tim Burton too.
yes, yeah.
So again, he went off. But anyway, yeah, I guess we'll move along because I can't see Tom Selleck.
No,
I did want to mention, or so with Michael Keaton, though, like I said, I didn't want to see a comedian at all, and I was
right.
worried about him, but I was also willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, and so I read up on him, and I decided to rent Clean and Sober because that showed him in a dramatic role.
He's great in that.
Yeah, no, he was, and that gave me a lot more confidence because I was like,
Right.
all right, he doesn't have to be a clown. And
Yeah.
again, coming from the Adam West Batman, you naturally think that they're going to make this into a comedy, and that really wasn't the case. So yeah, he was a good. I watched it recently. He's a great Batman. He's got height issues, I will say, um, but I think just the way he looks, his stare,
Yeah.
his lips, everything, his chin,
And
just
Batman
fantastic
Returns is the
Batman.
better film.
I don't know about that. I
Oh,
honestly
wow. No.
disagree. That's another thing we can
Another
approach at one
strand.
point.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So the next one of your favorite actors.
Kevin Costner.
No, we're not there
Oh,
yet. Tom Hanks.
oh, right. No, instant no. Well,
He was similar to Michael Keaton when you
yes, but
his hair, his
and he was
comedic.
good. He was good in Bachelor Party.
Yeah,
I don't. I mean, I haven't watched Splash for a long time.
I like Splash.
Bigger thinks okay.
Saving Private Ryan.
That was well after. But yeah, we can go when we do the Tom Hanks is overrated special. Then yeah, we'll cover all of this. There are a couple of genuine performances I like. Tom
Well,
Hanks.
he was big, and when I say big, he was in big too. But he was starting to emerge from a TV star to a movie star, and he became very popular. But I couldn't see Michael Keaton at first as Batman.
Would you ever see Tom Hanks as that? Probably a good yardstick for us to use for this is can you see Tom Hanks as intimidating? Subsequently in any of his roles,
I
he
think
always
his
plays that sort of passive, lovable.
Well, you know what it is too, and this is a big stickler for me with a lot of people that they cast as Batman is the voice. I think Tom Hanks's voice is a little too high to play Batman. No matter how he tries to disguise it,
Yeah.
it's still not going to come off as tough as Michael Keaton. And Michael Keaton, screw everybody else, he had the best voice for Batman. You
Yes.
know, I think because when you again, I watched it recently. He doesn't go crazy with it. It's
No,
just his voice. It's a little,
he doesn't do a
you know,
Christian Bale.
yeah, he's not like vomiting when he says it. And like Ben Affleck, I never wanted Ben Affleck just due to the fact that his voice was too high. And then what they did with the Batman movies is they digitized his voice to disguise it so you couldn't tell it was Bruce Wayne. But it's all because his voice was too high. But it sounded ridiculous.
Right.
That was my biggest problem. All right, well, it's gonna get long, so we might as well keep going.
Okay.
So legitimately, I think this is one of your favorite actors. Oh, and one of
Are
your
we there
favorite
yet,
movies.
Joe? Kevin Costner.
No, we're not there yet. Calm down.
Okay.
All right. I don't even know if he's on this list.
I'm not even going to guess it. I'm not. No, I'm not even going to guess.
All right.
it.
Well, you don't have to guess it. I'll say
right.
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson. No.
Now he was offered the role, but he was tied to Lethal Weapon 2.
All right. Yeah. Do you know what? I could see that. Yeah, I could see that.
I could see it too.
I could see him. I can see him playing the good-looking.
Yeah, he was very good looking back then.
Yeah, very good looking. I always remember that line in Notting Hill where Hugh Grant turns to Julia Roberts and she goes, he says, "You've got a stunt ass." And she says, "Yeah." He says, "Oh, yeah, all the best people in Hollywood do, except Mel Gibson. He does his own. He does his own butt work." Hugh Grant goes, "Well, why wouldn't he?" And you're like, Mel Gibson's ass in Lethal Weapon, and I think it was in Lethal Weapon 2 as well. Yeah, he was an all round good looking in the same way.
So you're basing.
No. Wait a minute, hear me out. Because I mean, if one of the people on the list is Patrick Swayze, then I'm going to say yes to Patrick Swayze as well, for exactly the same reason. The reason is they're pretty. They're one is better than the other. Obviously, Mel Gibson is a far better actor than Patrick Swayze, but Patrick Swayze can hold his own. It's pretty good. But to pull off the billionaire playboy, Michael Keaton has that lovable charm, especially the entrance to Batman, where he's going, oh, the reporter's going, oh, who's this guy? King of the Wicker Men, and he's looking through the statues at Wayne Mansion, and he just kind of like there in the background, and you get it. You get that Michael Keaton can do it. I could see Mel Gibson exactly the same role, charmed, not the same hair from Lethal Weapon,
No.
hair cut back,
like forever young hair,
and the cowl. Definitely, I could see that.
Yeah, no, I could see, and the voice. I think he would have been. He might have been a better Batman than Michael Keaton, actually.
Wow.
Well, my problem with Michael Keaton, he was not the best Bruce Wayne. I just felt like he played him a little crazy, and he wasn't good. I would say, good looking enough to be Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne was very, very attractive in the comics, and Michael Keaton was kind of losing his hair, He just didn't look right. Had a big forehead. But he was a great Batman.
Oh,
and I bought him as Bruce Wayne because of his performance as Batman.
Okay.
All right, so this
next on the list, Patrick Swayze.
No.
All right.
I don't even know if these people are on the list. It's so long that I can't even look.
You're going to have to pick out some choice for you. You've got about 25 minutes.
All right. This is one of my favorite actors. I said sarcastically. Pierce Brosnan.
Right.
Pierce Brosnan.
I knew we get there. I knew we get to Pierce at some point.
He turned it down because he didn't want to play a comic book character.
Right. First of all, Pierce Brosnan could be Bruce Wayne.
His voice is too high.
Oh,
he can't act. He can't act. That's another thing.
Joe,
come on, dude. He is the worst. He's the worst James Bond in history.
No,
he is a horrible actor.
I knew this would come up.
Everything he's in, he's horrible in. Can you name one good thing that he's good in?
Mamma Mia.
Oh, he's even worse than that. That's he is
Great.
so bad in that movie. That movie is bad as it is, but he makes it far
What?
worse. It is
Okay,
bad.
Mamma Mia, here we go again.
I didn't see that one.
Oh, we should. Um, right. Well, Pierce Brosnan. Oh, the Thomas Crown affair. Bond. He was a great Bond. It was wonderful.
And I wanted
Goldeneye over here is revered in the same way as Skyfall.
you need to watch it again.
Well, I've watched it recently, and it's just incredible.
I I think he's a very good looking guy, and he's Irish, which is a plus up in my book, as I'm Irish too. But he just can't act, and he's just very feminine. He's too feminine to be Batman.
Feminine.
He is. He's very soft. He's very beatable.
Sorry, Joe. Not he played England's greatest super spy. That's pretty hard, you know.
I felt he was unbelievable as the character myself, but
Wow. So you didn't feel he
anyway,
could handle. You don't feel he could handle himself.
no. I think he looks like Bruce Wayne.
Pierce
Just the,
Brosnan used to play like archetypal, a bit like Liam Neeson's path and you know, somewhere Sean Bean, but only because he was Yorkshire. They basically played to character.
I
So
don't care.
Pierce Brosnan was in a film called Taffin, where he played an Irish terrorist, and you know, it felt like okay, that's character. No, I won't hear a word said against Pierce Brosnan. And I'll give you that I don't think he'd make a good Batman, but he'd make a good Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Now your guy is here.
There's my concession. Which one? Kevin Costner?
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely not.
Why you keep mentioning him though?
Because I just thought he's going to appear on the list at some point.
You're like, I think you're like, please, Kevin Costner be on this list. And he's like, definitely not.
Kevin Costner is a genius, but he's Tin Cup. He's Dances with Wolves. He's Jim Garrison in JFK. He's a heavyweight actor. He really knows how to do it. He really knows how to put on a performance. I don't think however, despite all of that, and even Jonathan Kent in the Man of Steel film, pretty much everything that he puts his mind to, apart from The Postman, and I even like Waterworld, is wonderful. Tin Cup would be on my list, 10 films to take on a desert island, because I just want to smile.
No, I need to see
every
that
day.
then.
Every day, I just want to smile because it's just beautifully made, beautifully done. However, he couldn't be Batman, and he couldn't be Bruce Wayne.
I think he could. I think of the Untouchables. You know what he looked like there.
Yeah, brilliant.
You know,
but no.
I think he would have the look of Bruce Wayne. Maybe his voice is a little too soft for me. You know, but I think he could have pulled it off.
Okay.
This was my pick.
Well, then that's a refreshing change. Is that I think he's one of the greatest actors and certainly one of my favorite movie stars of all time, and I don't think he would. And you're not. You're like, meh. But you actually could see it.
I could. I definitely could.
Wow. Nobody saw that coming. Patrick Swayze.
No. So this was my pick, who I always wanted back in the day.
Right.
Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
We were talking about The Hunt for Red October, Alec Baldwin.
Oh, is there any other kind?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, you know, there's him. As much as everyone Lord Sean Connery, despite his Russian stroke Scottish accent, you know, Sean Connery's great at that. You've got Tim Curry in that. You've got Sam Neill in that. The voice of Darth Vader, James L. Jones, crikey. However, that film would not work without Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, I can't picture Harrison Ford.
There's nobody. We can't do a Hunt for Red October where you could go, oh, it could be this person, it could be that person. When they replaced him with Harrison Ford, it all fell to pieces, pretty much.
I agreed, 100%.
Yeah. Despite the fact that Harrison Ford is a good you know, actor, movie star. Ooh, we're definitely gonna have fun with that when we do this. Actor or movie star. Alec Baldwin is Batman. Yes, I'm going to say yes on both counts.
Yeah, 100% for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Good looking guy back then. He
Yep.
had the voice. Perfect. I would, that's who I pictured Batman to be. There, I've seen some like art by Alex Ross where he does Batman, looks just like him.
Right.
It would have been perfect. But again, Michael Keaton did a good job as Batman, but I wouldn't have mind seeing Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
Next one, Kurt Russell.
Well, see, this is where I'm going to be in your bad books because I know one of the things that you like from your Batman that we talked about repeatedly is Batman's got to work out. Batman's got to look as if. I think I remember one of your recent podcasts where you were talking about Batman Superman. You like
Well,
the
Michael
training
Keaton
montage.
didn't work out.
No, but you got the training montage, and you kind of like that from
Mm.
it. Kurt Russell. No, I'm going to say no. I, I'm going to say no because he's Snake Plissken. He's like,
Yeah,
you know,
I'm with you there. I just can't picture him as Bruce Wayne or Batman.
and I think
Even
that
like if he
same
had the
year we
cowl
made
on.
Escape from LA. I think it was 1980. Was what was it in the 90s? I can't remember. Either
This,
way, it's trash.
this is gonna sound weird, but I think it's his eyes. I just think that I would know it was him even with the cowl on. I
Right,
just don't think it would work.
right.
This is interesting. Ray Liotta.
Know what we know now.
What do you mean what we know now?
No, I mean knowing how we know how he was typecast his entire life. I mean, yeah. See, so if you mention Michael Keaton, I don't know to go back to it. You got Clean and Sober. You got things like One Good Cop, My Life with Nicole Kidman, um, and then obviously later, things like Pacific Heights, where he's so dark in that film, so dark. And you're like, and then he disappears for a while. We don't see him for a while. And then obviously comes back, with a vengeance. And there's a resurrection in his films. He's very versatile in the things that he can do. I don't think you can apply the same to Ray Liotta. He just plays. You never root for Ray Liotta.
He was great in Goodfellas.
He's amazing in that.
I think he's got the look for Bruce Wayne, but
No,
I don't know too many movies that he's in where his voice doesn't sound the same as it is in Goodfellas, and it just is kind of like a heavy New York accent, and I don't know if he could pull off the Batman voice or the Bruce Wayne voice.
Yeah, can you imagine the voice from Goodfellas? It's like, yeah, you're a funny guy. Like you make people laugh. And oh, no.
Yeah, it's like Alfred. Yeah, well, can you get me some antiseptic? It ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
All right,
Ain't
now
gonna
we're up
work.
to we're done with Batman right now.
Oh,
How
wait.
many? What time is it over there?
It's 12 minutes. You've got 12 minutes.
12 to 10 to what?
12 to 10.
You got time, All right, we'll keep going.
I do
right?
have to see my family. We have done.
All right.
Right, okay. Well, go on.
The Joker. So let's get into the Joker.
Right, okay.
Tim
That's going to
Curry.
be very difficult too.
Tim Curry.
Yeah. Are we the same script?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he couldn't have been Jack Napier. He could have been the Joker. I might give you that.
I don't know. I will give him the Joker. I think he would have been excellent, actually.
Hey, he was good as Pennywise.
Yeah, I could definitely see Tim Curry as a Joker. That grin too. He wouldn't need makeup for a grin.
True.
Yeah.
When you always look at so you recommended to me that I watch the old animated Grinch film.
Yeah.
I think last Christmas or maybe the Christmas before or whenever he said.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always that bit where the Grinch smiles, and they steal that for Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
Where they have that smile. And I always look at the Grinch now and think, that smile, because then you got Tim Curry going, "Oh, I finally got him. I finally got the little blighter." And you're like, yeah, that smile, he could just do that, and it would be menacing enough. Because
Oh yeah.
although at that time, no, he hadn't made it. So
I know that there is fan art of Tim Curry as a Joker
really,
online, and I've seen some of it. He would look fantastic. But I did like Jack Nicholson. And again, I watched it recently. He's a little chubby in this one. And I guarantee you he was wearing a girdle during this.
yeah,
But he still does a good job. I mean,
oh,
I think
incredible.
people look at Heath Ledger and they look at Joaquin Phoenix, and they both won Oscars for their roles, but they forget Jack Nicholson was the most Joker-like out of all of them. Well, his character was anyway. Like, he fell into a vat of chemicals. His whole body was made white, dyed white,
Yeah,
and he had the effects from the chemicals and all that. That's
and
not like that in the other movies.
I always remember the scene in the museum, the art gallery, the museum, whereby Kim Basinger, Vicky Vale throws the water in his face, and he goes, "Oh, I'm melting, I'm melting." And he holds it, and then as he comes up, you realise he's joking, and he takes his hands away, and he just goes, "Boo," and starts laughing. And I remember that scene, and I remember thinking, that's Cesar Romero. That reminds me of the Joker that I liked, and I loved Cesar Romero
He
as
was
a
a good
Joker.
Joker too. He was, yeah.
And all it did was bring it kicking and screaming into the 80s, and then go and look at this heavyweight and look at how he's doing it. If you want a dark Joker, you get dark with Jack Nicholson, but you also get the fun. There was no fun with Heath Ledger. You just got a dark Joker. There were funny things that he said, but they weren't meant for you to
Yeah.
go,
He
look
was
at that,
just
look at that singer. Yeah,
he was a serial killer,
yeah,
psychotic. Yeah.
yeah,
It was fantastic. It's
yes,
hard to choose my favorite Joker, but I'm just saying Jack Nicholson played it as close to the comic books as possible. And
yeah,
then when he smiles too, his eyebrows go up,
yeah,
and he looks great. That's all I got to say about
yeah,
that.
yeah, definitely.
But who
So
were you talking about? We were talking about, all right, we'll get to the next one. All right. Willem Dafoe.
yes, yes,
Me too. I would say
yeah,
that too. After seeing him as the Green
Green
Goblin,
Goblin. Yes, definitely, and that's the reason why, because you could see somebody. He could even play it as tortured as that.
and he's got
Um,
that voice too.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
I would.
definitely. Yeah, we definitely agree on that one.
Christopher Walken.
I knew I knew these wild cards and the ones that'd make us think. It's playful. I know, you're thinking, the Pulp Fiction scene with the watch, you know, up his ass. You would think
Yes.
about True Romance, the grilling of Dennis Hopper. To No, I'm going to have to say no, despite the fact that I genuinely love Christopher Walken, but no, not he hasn't got that playful bit. You know, he's
Yeah,
he's 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 good as Max Schreck
Shrek.
in Batman Returns,
Yeah.
because he's kind of like especially where he throws Michelle Pfeiffer off, and just before there he's going, thought I was going to push you, yeah, I am, boom.
No, I think he
But
would have played him more
he
seriously,
would have done it, would have had to.
but he'd be scary. I think, for sure. Because
Yeah,
again, there are times in movies where he does laugh, and it's kind of like it makes you nervous to hear him laugh, because
yes, yeah,
just the look of his eyes, he just looks like he's crazy. Um, but yeah, and I couldn't see him giggling like Jack Nicholson did in the movie. But yeah, I might want to see him.
Christopher Walken had a funny moment, and you won't know this. And all I can say is, listeners, YouTube this moment. Go on YouTube, Christopher Walken reading The Three Little Pigs,
Oh, okay, I don't
and
think
it
I've seen that.
and it was on Jonathan Ross' show. And Jonathan Ross was big in the 80s, 90s, and probably the decade after that. And he was on his show, and he was reading, sitting in a chair, with a storybook as if he's reading to kids. That's funny. That shows that he can genuinely do humor.
He's got a wonderful delivery for sure.
Yeah. Little pig.
I'll check that out.
Yeah, Bloody Yes Dad. And it's Exit Pig 1. It's just, this is the way that he reads it. It's just brilliant.
I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, my mind instantly wanted to go, no, but is he nimble? Oh, I was going to say, is he nimble enough? Jeff
He's
Goldblum
very lanky.
feels like a wooden. It's lanky. It's like a wooden board, though.
But I could see the Joker is kind of like that, tall and thin. I think I could kind of see him,
Not
but he
quick
wouldn't
enough.
be in my.
And here's my case for his case for the prosecution. He entirely self-inflicted wounds that he had in Jurassic Park because he's not quick enough to outrun the T-Rex.
All right, if you want to base it on that.
Well, because you look at that and the way that he walks, the way that he moves, he's a wooden board. No, definitely not.
He'd be better as a Scarecrow, if he was going to play any Batman character.
That's an underused character with a great actor in the role in Cillian Murphy.
Yeah. James Woods.
Oh, see, weirdly enough, I was watching The Hard Way with Michael J. Fox and James Woods.
Oh yeah,
that is so good. That is so good. James Woods is just hard. It's just a tough guy.
Yeah, no, he is.
Yeah,
He's a good actor, for sure.
is. I think in real life, I think he genuinely is, and I think he still is.
Very good at anger. I could see him like
very
scared.
Anger. Yeah, no, not for the Joker.
Yeah, I could see him Harvey Dent, Two-Face, but I don't know about the Joker.
Yeah,
John Lithgow. Now, apparently he was heavily considered.
See, when I think of John Lithgow, I think of Tommy Lee Jones, and then when I think of Tommy Lee Jones, I think of Two-Face in Batman Forever.
Why?
No, because I'm thinking of a similar sort of.
You think they're very similar in their looks and their acting style?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, I don't know why that just came to mind. I've obviously got something buried in the back of my mind where it's made that connection. But John Lithgow could do. Yeah. I always remember my first ever seeing John Lithgow in a film where he played a ex-football player, transvestite, The World According to Garp.
Oh, yeah, I remember that too.
He is, obviously she, I know you refer to it, but, obviously playing John Lithgow was incredible in that film.
He was.
And then you think he has got good acting. Then he does things like Third Rock from the Sun. Yeah, go on then. Yeah, I'll say yes, because I think he could do both. I'm thinking of Jack Napier before he goes into the chemicals, flipping the lucky coin.
A lot of these actors too, we're thinking of the older versions. If we look back to their youth, I can kind of see them more into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see this. Now, this actor, I know he petitioned a lot for this role and he didn't get it. Robin Williams.
Yeah. There's no. I remember the rumors at the time, and I remember hearing that. It's a bit like if you ask me if Jim Carrey's good for the Riddler. Yes, absolutely, 100%. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was right for the performance, but Jim Carrey just hammed that up so much that it was just getting a bit tiresome after a while. But Robin Williams would have just. All you would have remembered was his performance. I'm not sure Robin Williams is a team player in films because everyone remembers him.
Yeah, I can't see him actually. I think we would see his face too much.
Right.
we would know it was Robin Williams. And even though Nicholson's face is very familiar too, but he still had that Joker look. I don't think Williams could really pull that off. And it would
And
be
yeah, Robin Williams was inconsistent as well.
yeah.
For every Good Morning Vietnam he made a Patch Adams or an Awakenings or Dead
What are
Poets,
you Awakenings? Oh, we'll get to that another
Dead Poet
day.
Society. Dead Poet
Oh,
Society is dreadful.
I love Awakenings.
Oh God, Joe.
I cried.
Oh.
All right, so now we're on to Vicky Vale, and I only
Okay,
got one.
you ready? Right, okay, that's good because we've got 5 minutes left.
Sharon Stone.
Yes.
Definite yes for me.
Yes.
That would have been an upgrade.
It's a no-brainer.
Especially at that time.
Absolutely. Can you imagine her delivering she could have done as good a job, and I think Kim Basinger did a really good job because she does the smouldering, good-looking. I think Sharon Stone would have brought a bit more sass to it, maybe to that role. She probably would have been a little bit stronger. Having said that, Kim Basinger isn't weak.
No, I would have went with Stone, much sexier. I think she's a better actress too. I would have
sexier than Kim Basinger. I think
yes.
both of them are as sexy as each other.
I would go with her anyway.
All right,
Alfred. Is it John Neville?
I should do.
Baron Adventures of Baron Munchausen.
Oh, right, yeah, him. Right. I'm just trying to think what else he's been in. A lot of
he
things.
was in. He was short. He was in The Fifth Element for like a minute.
He was in Time Bandits as well. I think. As far as I remember.
He might have been.
Yeah.
I could see him. I think he would be good. This next one though, perfect.
Go on.
Christopher Lee.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't like the butler from Alfred. I felt like he was over dramatic. I forget what his name is.
No. Just what I know. Yeah, I can picture him.
Yeah, he was okay, but yeah, Christopher Lee would have nailed it for sure.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that would have been a better one.
This one's a weird one. Roger Moore.
Well, if I'd said to you that Michael Caine would have played Alfred, then would you have gone? That makes sense.
A difference between Michael Caine and Roger Moore, to me, anyway.
Yeah, go on. Well, no. In fact, no, definitely not.
Yeah, I agree. No.
Yeah,
Richard Attenborough. Too fat.
Well, he might have had to wear a same good Nick
he'd also have to shave it. I've only seen him with a beard and a mustache. I can't picture him. All right, so we're almost done. All right.
Okay.
You'll get to see your family.
Okay.
Commissioner Gordon, Tom Skerritt.
Oh, instead of Pat Hingle.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom Skerritt's miles better.
Yes, agree.
Yes, absolutely.
I agree.
Tom Skerritt rarely does anything bad. I mean,
well, he's rarely in anything too. Anything.
Viper though.
I know. Yeah, that's you could think of Top Gun and all that, and he was in Cheers, but
he's so good in Cheers.
He should have done much more.
So good in Cheers.
Yeah.
Oh dear me. I was going to say it's Robin Colcourt, but that was the other guy. He was.
Yeah, he was the British dude.
Robin Colcourt was the British guy that played Lord Marbury in The West Wing. He played the British ambassador to the US.
And he was in The Prestige.
Yes. Oh.
But we're not talking about him. He wasn't up for
it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree.
Burt Reynolds.
Again, that would have worked. Because you can see Burt Reynolds as, you see him as somebody high up. Some people go, okay, well, he's the bandit. No, definitely he's the Mean Machine. He's so good in the Mean Machine. So good in that. I think you called it something different. Didn't you call it something different? You called it the Longest Yard.
Yeah, that's what we called it.
The Mean Machine. Yeah.
I think he's too much of a character of himself, for the role of
But then you see
Commissioner
him in
Gordon.
Boogie Nights, and you see you can do that.
No, I loved him on Boogie Nights, but he was too much. I knew it was Burt Reynolds. I think it would have thrown me off a bit.
Right. Okay.
You'll love this one, Dick Van Dyke.
Do you know what? I can't say a bad thing. Dick Van Dyke, yes. I think the genuine pleasure that that man has given to people old and still young. I mean, Amy loves him in the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Yeah,
because it's pretty much the perfect kids movie. It's just it has everything.
that's scary as hell.
It is
The child catcher.
The child catcher, yeah. Lollipops. Yeah. Yeah, I can. If Dick Van Dyke wants to do it, who are we to say no?
Yeah, he wouldn't be good, but I agree with you. He's such a lovable actor, and
Oh, it's
he's
just
still alive. He's like, I don't
still
know if he's in
going.
his
90s
still
now. He's in
going.
his 90s.
Yeah, Charles Charles Bronson.
Bronson, no. No.
I could see him as Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, because you can see that scene where he's playing he's playing roulette at Wayne Mansion, and you've got Harvey Dent, you've got Billy D. Williams playing Harvey Dent going, "Oh, don't make any comment on ghouls and goblins." You've just seen Bronson pull out his revolver and start shooting people and going,
I don't know
we can't leave any witnesses to
But I could picture him being an ex-cop working himself up to commissioner.
No, he would never have got above. He'd never have got above detective.
This one's a weird one. Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah.
I have to picture him. Yeah, if you look at him with a mustache on, but yeah, I think he's still too familiar looking.
You've also got because Dustin Hoffman was Mumbles in Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, last one.
It better be. Go on.
This is the best one too.
Okay.
Harvey Keitel
as the commissioner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would have been perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Him and Tom Skerritt, either one of those would have just blown it away. But
do you know what? I'll give you Harvey Keitel over Tom Skerritt. Just.
I think I would too. Yeah. We don't always agree on everything, but I think we're
by
simpatico on that.
Cigarette paper between them, as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it.
Wow.
There were more, but we'll just leave it at that.
No, we're going to save the other two films, are we? Then.
No, I mean for Batman.
I know. Right. Okay. Right. I've enjoyed that. I genuinely.
I did too.
This is good, man. This is. And you know what? I know we say where everyone can find you, and obviously, I think people have listened to that WNT. Yeah, I'll get it in there somewhere. But genuinely, if you like what we do, I'm not sure Dom is available for contact in the same way, but Joe is, or Amanda. I don't know because I haven't asked. I'm sure they are because they're just great people in real life. Obviously, I wouldn't let anybody on this podcast. They're wonderful. I've got to say Amanda's wonderful because she's my partner. But genuinely, Joe will if you get friends with him and stuff on Facebook, I'm not sure he'll deliver the great critiques and stuff of something that's just on your mind. It's incredible. So yeah, if you want to connect, I'd say connect because this is the type of thing. But not too many of you because don't take up my time. Right. So he says being completely selfish.
I will definitely wish you a happy birthday. Do that for everybody on Facebook. That's what I use Facebook for right now. That's it.
Yeah.
I try not to get too political.
But contact Joe. It takes special people. If you didn't like us, you didn't. If you go back and listen to some of his podcasts and listen to ours and the ones that he's on, the ones that they're all on, but specifically just because we're talking about you, Joe, because you've taken the time in order to do this. It's that sort of conversational style. So yeah, thank you very much, man, for being on these two. I'll see you when I get back from holiday and we'll record the other two.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good to me. Right. Excellent. Cool. Well, at this point, I will say cheerio, and if you're listening to this, then I'll be back off holiday in a few days. Great.
See you.
Cheers. Bye.